everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. Today I have another card in my series of the new online exclusive releases. So before I do it, I'm going to show you the ones I've done so far in case you've missed them. Most of these have a video tutorial, I think all but one. So this is the Pets and More. Super cute little set, and I haven't even used all the pets or the more. I assume that the more is the fox in the set. So really cute, just a fun little stamp set. Then we have the Magnolia Madness, which here's two totally different looks, one with the dies and one with the stamps. This also is just a quick one I'll show you. It went out to my VIP members. You get a VIP project when you purchase from me. And then this is the Zinnias. So that is some of what's I've done so far. I have Encircled in Nature coming up, and the Cancer one, which I don't remember what it's called. It's in my line to do. I haven't made it yet. But today I'm going to use Latte Love. So you can go watch this tutorial if you missed it, and I'll show you the whole suite in this one because I've already filmed that one. It's already posted and up. So you can go watch that one if you'd like. I also have an online class with it. There were 3 options there now too, because the swirl dots are sold out until April something, I think. And the first option was to buy the suite from me, and you got a discounted price. You can still buy just the videos, or you can buy the class. We'll make, I don't even remember, 5 projects together, maybe 6, 5, 6. I don't know. We're going to do one with both of the dies. We'll use the stamps. So again, this video tells you all about the class. So you just have till the 15th to sign up. So that's coming up quick. And then today's card, if you look at this, and it's pinks. This is petal pink, which is, it has a nice peach tone to it. And the softer colors, today's is much more masculine. It doesn't have to be masculine. I would love to get this card. It's really pretty. I'm not even sure where to start because there's a lot of little pieces. It's almost an art of stamping card, except there's absolutely no coloring. And I think a lot of you have come to expect coloring when I do an art of stamping. But this does, while it's a super easy card, it takes a lot of supplies. Not gonna lie. So if you're just now starting out to stamping, I guess if you absolutely love this card, it wouldn't be that bad, but it does take a couple of supplies. So the first thing I did, and I'm not going to do it again, I cut 3 rectangles. This is the In Color Luster paper, and this is also an online exclusive paper. It came out before the March releases, which was maybe December. I don't remember when they came out, but it's Peacock. So this is my color palette. I kind of played around with it. I wanted it to have a retro diner feel. This maybe has more of like a mid-century modern color tone to it. But like I said, it could easily be a masculine card. So I cut 3 of these out. Now, if you watched the last couple of videos, like the Pets and More, you can run 3 pieces of designer series paper through at one time. Just run them through, and then you have all of your pieces. On this one, I did the 2 luster pieces, and then I did the peacock on its own because the glimmer paper is a little bit thicker, and you don't want it to not cut. So just, if you're using glimmer, do it on its own. So I ran those through. So I had 3 of these. So here is the copper clay, and there's the peacock glimmer. And then I took the pebbled path one, and I put it in this folder. And any folder would kind of work. I just wanted the pebbled path to have a little bit of a pattern. So when you do this, you get pieces for 3 cards. That's why I don't want to do another one, because I don't need pieces for 6 cards. So let's go ahead and put this one together. I have a couple of tips for you if you've not used this folder. It's the patchwork pieces, and it comes in 2. You get 2 different designs. I was going to use the other one because it's a starburst, and I thought I'd kind of do a sunrise card, but I liked this one. It shows a little bit. The paper doesn't have to be at all straight on this one. So I just have a piece of pecan pie. It's cut a little bit bigger than what we need because we can trim it with our scissors at the end. You want to make sure it's filled with adhesive. I like using the seal because if I don't get a piece right, I can pick it right back up. You could also use a green glue because you can do the same with that. So I like to start with this little piece here. So I'm going to put it straight down, kind of in the middle. I'm going to go just off the bottom. And for this piece, because it's so small, you really want to make sure that it has grabbed some adhesive. And then I like to just lay this here. That way I know which piece I'm looking for next. So when you grab your second one, again, just kind of look at your template, and then you're going to line up straight edges. So you can see where this is straight. Lay it down. It does go flush, but I don't do the flush part until I have both of my edges straight on. So just lay this on here. I know my hands are covering it up. And then you can see this is pretty straight. So once it's straight, don't push hard, just kind of tap, because that way if it's wrong, you can lift it back up. Now we need one of the next colors, which is the peacock. And so you're just going to kind of match it up to that. Again, if this one goes, this one's going to start going up the edge. So you want to make sure that this piece right here is straight. So again, kind of flush it into that, but don't drop it until you know that this is also straight. And then just push it down. So now we need the copper again, and this one I think is the big one. Yep. So you can see it's kind of going crooked on the paper. That's why I have just a little bit larger size of paper, because it all depends on how you lay that first one down. So make sure this is again flush with that. Pretty good. So now we need this one. So over here, we're going to go straight. Just puzzle it back together, because if you're not careful and you have a little bit of a gap or something goes crooked, then the whole thing goes crooked, and it needs to be a rectangle. So pop that in there. And so then we have this one. And pop it in there, and then make sure your rectangle looks straight, which is optical illusion. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Once you know it's pretty good, then just hit it down. And then I'm just going to take my scissors. You can see here we have all of the pieces that we need for 1/3 card. So you can do more. You could do 6 different pieces of paper if you like. I like doing 3 because it gives you 2 of each, and you're not ending up with so many panels. But if you're mass producing cards, then just do 6 and have 6, because it makes a really fun background. And I love the play with the glimmer paper, the plain luster, and then this here with the texture in it. I'm just going to take my scissors. I'm not going to show you all of this, but literally just stick it down underneath here. I went with a coffee color of scrap. That way if any of it shows through, it's not gonna detract from our card. So let me trim this back. So now it looks like a rectangle, and just kind of press it all down. And you're gonna put more stuff on it. If it's not 100% perfect, it's okay. So there's our background. Then I'm going to show you these. These are the dies that I'm using. I'm making the little vintage style carafe, although we just recently had the coffee pot before this one. You know how you remember your lifelong of coffee pots that you've had, and we have a lot of coffee pots. We had one that was like this, and it was complete silver, and I loved it because I loved the look of it. So when it stopped working, the people no longer made it. I was really sad. I'm going to cut out the carafe, the handle, the lid, the coffee, some coffee cups, and then the coffee that goes in those. So I'm going to run these through my die machine. All right, I've done those. Now I just wanted little words on this because there's a lot going on the card, but I did want some words, and I liked the addition of the vanilla because I'm using peacock, the pebbled path, the copper clay, then the gold. So I'm going to keep with the gold theme. I thought about putting it on a piece of peacock, but it depends on where the pieces get mounted on here. I didn't want it to get lost, and I did like the little brightness that the gold gave me. So I'm just going to grab the sentiment that says, "This one's on me," because who doesn't want to get a card in the mail that has like a coffee shop or Starbucks gift card or something in it, right? So I'm just going to do this in my Versamark, and then I'm going to use my gold powder. It's a teensy tiny little stamp. So it looks really good embossed, but you do want to make sure that everything has embossing on it because you need to make sure none of your letters pop out. So here's this. Let me heat set this. Now this is the punch out of the catalog that goes with the little alphabet. It'll be down listed in the supplies that I used, but it's just perfect. Makes like a little ticket, so like a little gift card kind of thing, but it just fits that perfectly. If you don't have this, you could just hand trim it into a little rectangle. Well, let's grab our card itself. So this is Pebbled Path. I am going to start with, there is a coffee ring, which on your paper is delightful. When it happens in real life, not so much. But I am just going to fill my card with some coffee rings. And I am going to go, one of my friends, Tanya, she always stamps the backs of her cards, and they're always fun. So I try to remember to do it. I'm just going to fill this up. You want to make sure that you're twisting it sometimes. You can fold it if you want to know where the halfway point is. I'm just guessing because I don't like to stamp over the crease in the paper. Makes it a little bit difficult sometimes. Some of them you want to overlap. And this is just tone on tone. If you want to do tone on tone and you don't have the ink pad color, the ink pad color of the cardstock you used, you can always use Versamark. It does the same thing. It's a little bit stronger of a tone on tone when you do the actual ink, but the Versamark does a nice watermark look. So we've got this covered. I'll just get rid of the ink that's on there. And then there is also a coffee splatter, because if you're going to make a ring, you might as well mess the whole thing up, right? I'm going to use copper clay. We're staying all in these same vintage kind of mid-century modern colors. So on it, I'm going to stamp until the color goes away. And I'm not going to do as many of those. You do want to make sure you turn it so it doesn't look like you were trying to line something up and didn't quite hit the mark, because that will happen if you don't turn it and twist it. We'll do just a couple more. There we go. Let's fold this in half. It's good to wipe this up, except on this particular card, I'm already making a coffee mess, so if it gets a little smudgy color. But see, it's perfect, and then when they open the card, it's a totally finished look. So it's going to go on like this. Now we just have to put our pieces on here. But I wanted them to stand out. When I first did it, well, I tried a bunch of colors. I tried the holographic paper, I tried black paper, and then I thought, no, I just want these colors. I don't want to add colors. I added the gold. That was the only thing I added. But then when I put these on here, they were kind of flat. So don't forget that you can always color with our blends on regular cardstock. So here's our coffee. And I'm just going to take, this is the dark copper clay. And they come with these cuts or creases in all of the dies. So I'm just going to let that be my guide. And I'm just coloring quickly with the brush tip up to that line. So that gives it a little bit of natural shading on its own. So I've done one coat. I want to see that mottled look. I like that, especially in the coffee. It kind of feels like maybe there's a shadow on it. So I'm going to go back over on this side and just make this side a little bit darker. And now you can see where the light would be hitting off of it. It's a really simple technique. And a lot of times people don't remember that you can color on our colored cardstock. It doesn't have to be, the gold doesn't need anything. Here are these little coffee bits. I'm just going to do the same thing on them. They're a little bit fiddly. When I did it the first time, I colored them on my board, the cutting board. So I'm just going to do like half. Again, so the light kind of plays on it. I'm going to do this half, and I'll flip it around when I mount it on the card. Do it once. It all dries a little bit lighter than that. It's because it's wet. So then let's take our peacock and see the little lines. We're going to use those for our guide. So over here, I'm just going to do the part that goes to the crease. And then up here, I'm going to do the bottom piece. I did it opposite on my other one, but it comes close to touching the lid. There's that. And I know it looks really dry. I mean, really different in color. When it dries, it won't be as different in the color. Because right now that is an obvious difference. Let's look at it in a second. And then grab the pebbled path. Do the same thing. There is an ever so slight dent for the outline of the coffee pot. The nice thing too is when you're doing the tone on tone, you don't have to worry about going over the lines because it kind of blends into it and it looks fine when it's done. I'm sure it's hard for you guys to see the little indent, but it has just where I need to color. And up here, I'm going to go across. And right here, there's a little indent there as well. Again, it looks darker than it will stay. And then I kind of played around with ribbons. There's a pebbled path twine. There's pebbled path textured ribbon. There's a ribbon in peacock that has the gold. This was one of the ones that was my last. I almost used that. But then I really wanted this ribbon because it also has that mid-century modern feel to it, the leather trim. And I laid it on here. It looks fine with the gold. So the gold kind of pulled that all together. But remember, you can color on our ribbon too. So I just need enough to go over this. Cut that off. And then I'm just going to take my pebbled path. No, my copper clay, I think, is what I used. You could use pebbled path. You could use the peacock. Just take the brush tip. And it's just going to tone it down a little bit. But the fun thing is, see the ribbon? It has the gold glistening. That doesn't get covered up. Whatever the magic is of the way this colors, look. It just colors the actual ribbon, and that gold stays gold. So it worked out perfect. So now I have copper and gold leather trim. And it literally just takes a second. It's easier if you use the brush tip and don't try to do it with your bullet tip. There we have copper. Now we just have to stick all this together. So I'm going to put this on my card first. I'm going to do it this way because if you put your coffee pot down here and your cups down here, you're going to lose all that. So flip it this way. I think it probably, in my mind, it's upside down, but on the card it works, and then you don't have to worry about losing all that work you just put in. I am going to use the Seal Plus on this one, and I'm going to get it close to the edge, and then we'll do one there. Then I'm going to pop this on and just kind of up here in the middle. Make sure that, look at the difference. That's the gold, and that's the copper. So just pull this around. And then make sure that it ends up in a bunch of the Seal Plus, and that's going to hold it nicely. And then grab our card. Put it towards the top so you have room to put all your coffee stuff at the bottom. And then I'm going to use my seal in case I get anything on here wrong. So let's start with our coffee. It just goes right down onto that line. And then your handle. You could use glue for this as well. I just don't like to wait for it to dry while I'm doing a video. And it just goes right along here. So get these two so they line up so they're on the pot. Obviously a ring is a little bit bigger than the pot. And then you have your handle. The first time I did this one, it took me several minutes to figure out how to get that handle on there. So just watch this and do it like that. I had it the wrong direction. I was trying to do it the wrong way. And let's put our lid on the top. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to color this. That's the bullet tip. So we'll do some creative stuff like this in the class too, but we will be using the designer series paper that comes with this suite. So that's the color tones we'll be working with on that. Although I can always find a way to switch them up. I haven't worked on the class yet. I'm getting ready to go to Houston. So I'm in the process of the do ahead. You can see I switched to Seal Plus. And put this on here. And then go back to my seal. Although Seal Plus would hold the coffee in a little bit better on the foiled paper, but will be good. So just kind of lay it on here and pull it. And then this kind of goes just centered in your cup. The first time I did it, I laid it down towards the cut line, and it works much better. It looks much better if you put it up there. Let me get our other one. Got some tape on it. So I'm going to put the bottom one on the card. So I'm going to go back to Seal Plus. This is one of those times where just having all of the adhesives and just use whichever one is working best for the actual gluing scenario on the card. Put that there, and then let's grab a dimensional for our other cup. Pop that there. Then I'm going to do Seal Plus on my little tag because sometimes our specialty papers can be a little bit hard for things to stick to. But I also want to make sure it's straight. So before I press on it, I'm going to put it on here and just kind of eyeball it up. Although specialty paper is usually easier to pull it off of too, because it doesn't stick as well. See that little pop of vanilla? It makes sure you see the sentiment. And then I wasn't going to put any embellishments again because I was thinking masculine, but these match so well, and once they were on, I think it doesn't matter who you send it to. They just make the card look happy and pretty. It's like, I know I have one that has all the colors. I have used these for classes, and so some of the colors are disappearing faster than others. So I'm going to use both the Pebbled Path and the Copper Clay. Try to put them in places where they'll be seen. I'm going to do all three sizes of the Copper Clay. And then over with the Pebbled Path, I only have 2 sizes, so that made the decision pretty easy of what sizes to use for that. So look at the difference already as this is drying of color in here. And so the other one, once it was done, I did take this and I went back, because see, that's a little smeary now. But you can color once it's on the card. You just have to be careful that you stay more in the lines because you don't want it to go on the thing underneath it. Right here, you can kind of get that so it's a little bit darker on the edge. You could do the same thing up there. So here's this one. Same card. The coloring, this is dried more, so see the difference in the peacock as it dries. Each of these will be different arrangements because of the way the patchwork pieces work, but super fun. So if you're interested in taking my class, go to my website. The link will be below the video if you're watching on YouTube. On my website, it's Sherry's Cards or Stampin' Online. You can find the information there. Join my email list, and then you'll always know what's coming up. Everybody have a great day, and I'll catch you back here later. Bye.